tonight there is a battle underway. Brave men and women facing a test of will, courage, and endurance.
Within 5 hours, it grew from 2 acres to more than 3,000 acres, and it continues to grow.
To me, the fire is the first half of the story, and the fires are like the gift you didn't want that keeps giving for decades.
7 News is on fire alert. The Hyde Park fire grows to more than 54,000 acres today.
Fire officials are doing everything in their power to get this fire under control.
There's nothing left, absolutely nothing. I expect that that's possible. I expect that that can happen, but you never think it's going to happen to your own place.
It's been raining for the last 3 days, and we've received over 8 inches of rain so far.
The flooding, the impacts on people's lives, that continues for a long time.
To give you an idea, when we talk about how fast these rivers are moving, this is what it looks like live this morning. Absolutely flying downhill.
Here in the mountains, the floodwaters come so quickly. In 15 minutes, you have literally a wall of water that can pick up cars, move them down the highway. It's not just water coming down the hill, it is all this debris, big rocks, sediment, trees, horse trailers, propane tanks. Anything that's kind of in the way in the channel is going to float.
The rain continues. It's supposed to continue today and tomorrow, and waters are going to keep rising. So please be safe out there. The town is offering sandbags for people. If you need sandbags, you can go pick them up at the Elm Street facility at 660.
Land conservation isn't just about protecting scenic views, parks, or open space. It is also about managing our natural resources for the health and safety of our communities. The land is essential, and when we take care of the land, we take care of all of us.
We are here today on the Sprague Sand Creek Ranch LLC property. Susanna and Edna are the granddaughters of Marshall Sprague and each Sprague of Colorado Springs, who purchased this property in 1963. We are looking this morning at part of the Tarryhall Mountains, which includes the Lost Creek Park Wilderness boundary area.
When you look at southern Colorado and this amazing region that we call home, a lot of that land is privately owned. And even though it's privately owned, it contributes very heavily to the quality of our landscape, the quality of our life. We've been committed to this area from a conservation perspective for years and years and years. The Upper South Platte Basin is the headwaters of water for the Denver metro area. 70% of Denver's water comes through the South Platte Basin. We're here in the headwaters, which is where the water begins, and it's where water quality really begins.
Spots from the Waldo Canyon fire, which is now the most destructive fire in Colorado history.
The fire burned hard, heavy, and fast and came roaring into this area.
I can see at least 3 or 4 structures burning right in front of me right now.
We have in this region thousands of fire starts every year that don't become Waldo Canyon fires. But on the right weather conditions, and we had those right weather conditions in June of 2012, really low humidity, really high winds, fuel moisture in the trees is down to drier than lumber that you'd go buy at Home Depot. It's just sort of set up for a big challenge. Look around the Waldo Canyon and it's steep. It's all these watersheds that are ridges. And so we knew that post-fire flooding would be extremely severe. We also knew that this is an area of Pikes Peak granite. This is not soil. We don't have organic matter to begin with. The fire burns out what little bit is there. And this Pikes Peak granite, it's a decomposed granite type thing that just moves. I tell people it's like a ball bearing. It wants to run downhill. And so in the aftermath of a fire, with the increased water that comes off of the forest after the fire, It just takes tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of tons of sediment with it. And so that post-fire flooding really was a wake-up call for all kinds of people up and down the hill, including Denver Water, Aurora, and the other municipal providers in the Front Range.
Even as Manitou Springs makes progress, mud drying into dirt, shovels clearing paths, they can't forget the force of nature this storm showed.
This is not really a snowmelt driven system. This is more of a summertime thunderstorm driven hydrology in this basin. It's very common for us to get these very small but very intense thunderstorms that form over the Tarryall Range because this basin consists entirely of decomposed granite, which is highly erosive. The channel will begin to downcut. Basically, every time that happens, you have the potential for the channel migrating to one side or another because channels inherently are not straight. Water naturally meanders through its landscape. My name's Pete Gallagher. I'm a retired fishery biologist based out of Sedalia, Colorado. I am doing this project for the Coalition for the Upper South Platte. A little bit further upstream, you'll see that up above here, those banks have collapsed down and there is a floodplain forming in the lower elevation. To put it in the most simple terms, what we're doing is we are maintaining an existing water right under Colorado water law to get water at the ditch when the flows are as low as they go. That's the ultimate goal of this project, is we want water at the head gate during the entire year. That allows the property owner to be able to demonstrate that they can exercise their water right whenever the state tells them that they can take water.
Our ditch has not received any water for now 3 seasons, I think it is. In the 60s and into the 70s when we would visit here, the meadow was actually flooded at certain times and the ditch was bringing enough water down to spread across the 2 portions of the Sprague meadow. So it's clearly threatened and struggling.
Pete and I have been working together since 2004. He thinks what I think and vice versa, and we've made a great team over the last few years. So what we're doing is we're going to build a series of step pools with about a foot drop between each step so the fish can migrate upstream and downstream. And on this project we're using fabric to put on the backside of the rocks just as an extra insurance that we don't ever get a void through the structure.
This is an important kind of quiet, off the beaten path area. So coming in and restoring that channel, stabilizing it, and getting the water back on the land has multiple benefits for our communities and for downstream folks who depend on the water up here.
Palmer Land Conservancy offers stewardship services for landowners who have chosen to conserve their land with us. We are here to support landowners who want to create healthy and resilient landscapes because caring for the land and for the forests reduces the risk of forest fires and keeps our rivers and streams healthy. This reduces soil movement, erosion, and can help prevent catastrophic flooding events as a result of heavy rainfall.
When we have opportunities to enhance the landscape, we want to take those opportunities. This project is only happening because of a grant from Great Outdoors Colorado, also known as GOCO. GOCO receives funding through our state lottery here in Colorado, and we're actually the only state in the country that devotes the majority of our lottery dollars to conservation interests. And even though we're on a private property that certainly the public can't access, this type of project has a benefit for the entire region.
We believe that private landowners are the best stewards of their land, and they are a critical element in the tapestry of Colorado's land management. Maintaining and improving our forests and watersheds is impossible without strong partnerships between conservation organizations and private landowners.